What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and on the day in which Moist Critical apparently goes on an indefinite hiatus from several podcasts after some backlash for some things that he said, Dr. Disrespect returns to the internet with a couple social media posts. It's been an absolutely wild summer. The internet obviously has some thoughts going on with both of this. Obviously, this also, parallels a lot of stuff with the current Mr. Beast drama and all of that stuff. So it's wild. It's like a crazy time to be a commentator. And I hope that you're enjoying the coverage, and that if you are, you'll leave a like on the video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe or follow. I tried to be as unbiased and good faith as I could, covering things with Dr. Disrespect, with an admitted bias that I was a longtime Champions Club member and a longtime fan. He had been, as far as everyone knew, unceremoniously fired from Twitch many years ago, only to have the alleged reason leaked by a former Twitch employee. That alleged reason is that he was sending some messages that he shouldn't have to certain individuals that he shouldn't have. Obviously, bad behavior, not good behavior. I don't think he would excuse it. I would hope that he wouldn't excuse it. But the internet was left with many questions, questions that we may never actually get the answer to, like, well, how bad was it? How bad were the messages? And I think the hard line is, hey, you shouldn't be messaging anyone underage. And I think that that's obviously a fine position to be. That goes for the Mr. Beast stuff. That goes for Dr. Disrespect stuff. Whether or not, I would hope that they would both agree with that. The mystery around the Dr. Disrespect stuff is that, unlike the Mr. Beast stuff, where we saw many messages and we saw many conversations had, and we had people come forward and share their stories, people are asking, well, how is this different, Jeremy? You replied to him and said, I'm looking forward to hearing your side of this, but you didn't say that about the Mr. Beast situation. Well, I didn't need to, because we saw all the messages and we knew what was going on. We saw firsthand accounts from people. And again, contacting people, again, not okay. So he posted this, and it's Dr. Disrespect playing chess. I'm playing chess. You're playing checkers. That's kind of the implication here. Basically, look, the question is, he had conversations, okay, that people can make up their mind about. He was never arrested. There was never any charges or never any meetups, as far as anyone can prove. What we do know is a woke leftist company in Twitch wants you to believe the worst possible thing because there is no other evidence. I continue to say, look, if we could see the messages, we could see them, we could disavow them, and we could move forward. But maybe these messages don't even exist. Maybe an archive of these don't even exist. I don't know. Certainly, the fact that he got paid out and there were no criminal charges probably means that the individual that they were talking to never came forward. There's obviously rumors that the individual he was talking to was actually over 18 and was catfishing him. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows the truth. Full stop. Don't talk to people you shouldn't be talking to, obviously. But that leaves us with, how does Doc move forward? Is he supposed to leave the internet forever? He wasn't even charged with anything. He never committed a crime. Yet YouTube demonetized him. Every sponsor left him, which they're entitled to do, of course. And the internet now, every time he posts, is calling him the P word, which is obviously over the top. I wouldn't even, say that necessarily applies to the Mr. Beast situation, because at least these people were, not for. That said, people are really mad. Anybody, says anything anywhere near, not slandering him, they're all over you. I don't care. I replied to Dr. Disrespect's post and said, I'm glad you're back. I hope to hear your side of the story sooner than later. Of course, hundreds of people in that reply are having a meltdown, calling me like a P-word defender and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. That's not my audience. The people that are spurging out about this tweet, like Tipster and stuff like that, they don't watch my videos. Their viewers don't watch my videos. They don't look at my tweets in good faith. All I said was, look, I'm looking forward to hear your side of the story. And I would welcome Mr. Beast employee to do the same. Right? I would love to see this individual come out and say, hey, look, here's what happened. Obviously, it's not okay. That's the only real way that you can move forward. Now, with the Mr. Beast situation, there's lots of evidence. With Doc, all we have is the word of some Twitch employee, and then he came out and said he did, in fact, have a conversation with somebody he shouldn't have many years ago, okay? If that is something that you think is a lifelong cancelable offense, I think you're entitled to believe that. For me, I would like to see the conversation and make my own, I think there are various degrees of where it could, get gotten out of hand. From what I understand, this person was not 12. Okay, so that makes a difference. None of it's okay, and I'm sure Doc has come out and said all of this stuff, right? Of course, people in here, I don't know who this Dremo is, but they're relatively popular. Calls him a ped. To which he says, little brainwashed woke boy putting out Dragon Ball Z graphics with Kendrick Lamar lines. Got me big time. Is this you playing with someone who is too young? Good one, she, her. The internet will never fix your real threat depression. I mean, based, double based. Again, I think here you have 38-year-old Jerry Seinfeld and his 17-year-old prom date. They dated for 4 years. It was consensual. I think Dr. Disrespect Outrage was a hit job. Look, a lot of these people who are jumping to calling him the P word don't like him. They're not his audience. I'd be willing to bet if he live streamed tomorrow, he would have probably his biggest stream in a very long time. And then after things settle down, he would have very similar audience size. I think that with the absence of the actual messages, I think most people are saying, look, he owned it. He came out and he apologized. He got fired. He lost his Twitch deal. He lost every other sponsorship deal. How much more do you want from the man? And the very same people who are calling him, the full-on P word would never call the Mr. Beast employee that, right? And according to logs, what that dude did was far worse. What that dude did was way worse. This is one instance that nobody's even seen or heard of, and the internet is calling him this. Is this just the majority of these people, they don't know anything about the story. They don't care anything about the story. And I think he could come back tomorrow and most people would probably be fine with it. I don't think YouTube will ever monetize him again. I think life obviously is about growing, making, we all make mistakes. I don't know if he was actually suffering from some sort of addiction at the time. I don't know. But what I know is that the left has not given him one single shred of the benefit of the doubt. And they've given every ounce, they've given miles of the benefit of the doubt to the other individual who was in a similar situation. Now, I think obviously the common thread between, the Mr. Beast employee and Dr. Disrespect is that they were messaging folks they shouldn't have messaged. Now, one of them came out and said, yep, I shouldn't have done that. But that was that. So what do we do now is the question. I think that, really, unless there's, criminal charges, both of these people should be allowed to exist on social media and create videos. And then the market will decide, right? If there's a market for that Mr. Beast guy, fine, let them watch you. If there's a market for Dr. Disrespect, then fine, they should be able to watch him. I think that ultimately we're probably never going to know the truth. I think there are a lot of people who believe, you see here, no crimes were committed, nobody complained, no charges, no legality, no leaked DMs, no real evidence. Yet all this hate directed at you from a wild mom of leftist scum who happily stuffed their face with, the other guy. I think that that's true. I think that a lot of the people in these messages, did you increase your vertical leap? I got a tan too. All these people calling him a ped, that's obviously not what he is or what he's even been accused of doing. And all these people trying to rush to dunk on him in his comments. If I could, if I know anything about the way Twitter works, they're not his audience anyway. What they're there to do now is to essentially push him off the internet, to tell him, they didn't watch his content before, but they're there to tell him, oh, I don't watch your content. I don't want to watch your content. I'm not defending the things that he's done or even things that he's been accused of doing, but we've seen no evidence, outside of him saying, look, I talked to somebody I shouldn't have. So we know that much happened. This was, 8 years ago, 7 years ago? There were no charges. Nobody went to jail. The person he talked to hasn't come out and said, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. What are you supposed to do? I think the guy should be allowed to come back to work. YouTube, obviously, I don't think will monetize him, at least for a very long time. You never really know. But is that the precedent we want to set? I mean, this guy didn't commit any, he was not charged with anything. I think the same, just to talk about the double standard, I'm pretty sure the Mr. Beast guy will be fine. I'm sure they're not getting demonetized. I'm sure they're not getting deplatformed. I'm sure they're not losing sponsors, right? So if that is true, then the same should be true for Dr. Disrespect. I just think if you like his content and you want to watch his content, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. But having a meltdown in the replies, like I just said, I hope to hear your side of the story, and then people are like, oh my God, you're the worst. Like, okay, none of these people watch my content. None of these people follow me, right? None of these people watch my content. None of these people follow me, so they can just suck on my balls. You know what I mean? Like, these people don't watch my content, so they shouldn't affect what I give, what I care about, or what my opinion is. These people are just mad on the internet. They weren't my audience in the first place. I'm allowed to say I want to know more. And I think that that's a fine position. I also think it's fine to say, hey, full stop, I'm out. That's okay too. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose, if he comes back. We see, PC Gamer, a disgrace, Dr. Disrespect, teases his return to streaming. I don't know if it's necessarily a tease of a return. But at some point, the guy's got to live his life. You can watch his content. You don't have to watch his content. But, I think to deny that there's a political angle to this is wild. I mean, obviously, people that have, certain opinions about the Mr. Beast employee and their lifestyle, probably went harder on him, and I probably did too. But I acknowledge that. I think, again, that both people should be able to place, put it all out on the table. Obviously, nobody's been arrested or charged or anything. So I don't think they should be deplatformed. Watch them, don't watch them, don't care. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.